In late May of 2026, webmasters across almost every industry watched their traffic graphs shatter. Within hours, metrics spiked and plummeted, dropping with an aggressive, seemingly random velocity. The standard advice was to double down on EEAT and wait for the rollout to finish. But that response is incomplete because it ignores the specific timing of this update. The May 2026 core update arrived the same day Google confirmed AI mode crossed 1 billion monthly users at Google I/O. The global deployment of Gemini 3.5 Flash physically changed the search interface. It altered the way a billion people interact with the search box and the results page. This creates a unique attribution problem. Webmasters are seeing simultaneous changes in algorithmic rankings and human click behavior, making it nearly impossible to tell which one is responsible for a traffic drop. When traffic falls, you must distinguish between a site being downgraded by the algorithm and a user simply finding their answer without needing to click your link. Misdiagnosing this shift leads to destructive results, like deleting or rewriting high-quality content to solve a behavioral problem. On the left is the first variable, a loss in ranking position. The page moves down the search results. On the right, the second variable. Impressions remain high, but click-through rates vanish because an AI overview answered the query before the user reached your site. To recover, we have to use a diagnostic framework that separates these two variables. Looking at the 2026 timeline, Google has maintained a deliberate pace. This May update followed the March core update by only 6 weeks, marking the fourth major ranking change of the year. This is a broad core update. It reweights quality signals across the entire index rather than targeting specific policy violations or spam patterns. Plotting data on this matrix isolates the cause. If average position and total impressions drop, the core update recalibrated your content's quality. But if impressions hold while clicks drop, your traffic is displaced by AI mode. This displacement is most aggressive on informational queries, where Google uses Gemini to answer the user directly on the SERP. Ranking number 1 for a basic definition now yields significantly less traffic than it did 2 years ago, because the click is no longer necessary for the user. Segmenting your data by query type is the only way to avoid treating a change in user behavior as a content quality failure. Macro data from the first 72 hours reveals which industries were hit hardest. This heat map shows where the ranking shifts were most intense. The health and finance sectors are seeing the most significant volatility. In these your money or your life categories, content without a named expert or institutional affiliation is losing visibility as Google tightens its author credentials. We also see a consistent pattern of damage in the affiliate review sector. The sites losing the most ground share a specific profile. They review diverse products without evidence of first-hand testing, often relying on thin descriptions and recycled specifications. This isn't a penalty for breaking a rule. It's the result of Google raising the minimum threshold for what it considers helpful. High-volume affiliate sites that exist primarily to funnel clicks rather than provide genuine product experience are seeing their mathematical path to ranking disappear. This graph maps expertise against experience. Experience is prioritized, meaning you've actually used a product, not just researched it. Expertise is contextual. A doctor's authority doesn't transfer to finance. The bottom quadrant is highest risk, scaled AI content lacking human insight. Google does not care about the production method. It cares about editorial judgment. The algorithm filters content that fails to provide a unique perspective. The current winning formula involves experts using AI to draft, then manually injecting original examples and restructuring the logic based on their own knowledge. This changes the definition of topical authority. It's no longer about the quantity of posts, but the depth and coherence of the coverage. A small site with 15 expert-authored articles can now outperform a generalist site with hundreds of thin pieces. Lived experience remains the most difficult signal for a large language model to replicate, providing a practical defense against algorithmic filtering. When rankings fluctuate, the natural instinct is to start making major changes to the site immediately. But changing content during the rollout makes it impossible to measure impact. You won't know if a recovery was caused by your edits or simply the algorithm settling. Document your baseline data now, but wait until the rollout officially concludes before executing any structural or content changes. Once the update is complete, prioritize your highest traffic losses. Focus on injecting missing EEAT signals, like named bios and first-hand proof, into existing pages before you publish anything new. Analytical patience is the only way to ensure the data you're acting on is clean. This update reflects a change in Google's fundamental architecture. We are moving away from a traditional keyword matching index. Google's ranking systems now act as evaluators, weighing the trustworthiness of a source against the user's intent before the search results are generated. Because Google is increasingly synthesizing answers rather than just listing links, marketers must now consider a new discipline: large language model optimization, or LLMO. Survival in this environment requires a dual-path strategy. Traditional SEO focuses on page structure to secure a ranking position. LLMO focuses on making your data authoritative enough to be cited within the AI's synthesized answer, capturing trust even without a click. The high-volume SEO playbook is no longer effective. To win, your content must be distinct enough to rank for a human and authoritative enough to be cited by the machine.